Welcome to Reason and Mythology. I am your host, Dagoth Ur. Unfortunately, your normal host, Michael of House Lofton, will not be joining us tonight as he has defected to the false faith of the Tribunal Temple. Tonight we will be addressing the decision of Emperor Pelagius to declare his grandfather Talos a member of the Divines on top of the existing 8 Divines. This is demonstrably uncharitable, unnuanced, and not hyper-qualified, and only further proves the blasphemy of the mongrel dogs of the Empire, with which we are all familiar by now. Their error is manifest. The unanimous consent of the mayor has always held that there are 8 divines. The Empire's decision to pull a 9th divine from their mannish behinds is thus a demonstrable novelty, and this is without mentioning the fact that Talos died. He's a god. How can you kill a god? Only an Enwa can believe something so foolish. This is what happens when your religion is entirely dependent on the private interpretation of individuals, like a ruler from an inferior race. By way of contrast, those with a direct succession from the Aldmer have an objective measure by which to discern true from false doctrine, for that succession has been established by the Aedra as the means of preserving their teachings in perpetuity. Let me bring up the teachings according to Mathanil, chapter 16, verse 18. It reads, "You are Pelimar, and upon this standing stone I will build my temple, and the gates of oblivion shall not prevail against it." I could cite many more authoritative texts, but this alone proves my contention. What are the Imperial dogs saying when they declare a hitherto unknown 9th divine? Did everyone in the cult of the 8 before them get it wrong? Were they mysteriously enlightened by Julianos, or more likely Sheogorath, and shown the real truth that nobody else received? This absurdity is refuted by the teaching of the divines that I just read. But there is an even deeper issue at play, and here I ask any Talos lovers watching to pay attention. You have your scriptures, such as your so-called 10 Commands, 9 Divines. But how do you know this is scripture? How do you know these are really the commands of the divines? You would appeal to the testimony of the Aldmer, but now you are borrowing from our paradigm of Aldmeri succession in order to justify your own system, while simultaneously denying that system of Aldmeri succession. This is manifestly absurd and proves the incoherence of their religion. The only way to answer this question is to appeal to a living temple with a line of succession back to the Aldmer. And the only system that fits this criteria is the 6th house, of which I am its head. Unlike the mongrel dogs of the Empire, I have the power to enforce the correct interpretation of the will of the 8 divines by unleashing a Kulakan upon the lands of unbelievers and utterly obliterating them with a divine fury the likes of which could not be comprehended by the mind of an Enwa. The Empire's Elder Council has no such means to enforce their interpretation, let alone any divine warrant by which to prefer theirs over others. Why can't I break my marital contract with the Temple of Mara? Why can't I lure a guard towards a giant that yeets him into Aetherius? Why can't a Khajiit chug down 12 bottles of the purest skooma in Tamriel and burn down the Riften orphanage while being high as High Hrothgar? It is just your opinion against others, with no objective means of settling the dispute. These are but a few of the legions of questions that the Imperial Cult simply cannot answer. Yet I, Dagoth Ur, leader of the 6th house and advocate of the tribe unmourned, can answer all of these questions and satisfy the divine longings of men and Mer, if you would only bend the knee before my throne. Thank you for tuning in to Reason and Mythology. Consider becoming a tributary of the 6th house. Tributary benefits include achieving Kim for 3 minutes per month and not having your entire family line eradicated by a Kulakan. I will see you on the next program.